From Benson trying the all-new Boba tea for the very first time?
Yeah, at least try it before you freak out. Why are there balls in my mouth?
To a clever AI joke from Benson's new mentor about them replacing humans.
Wow, Barb, look at that word count. A machine will never replace you. Great job.
I've watched all 4 episodes of the revival series regular show The Lost Tapes, and this is every IRL reference I could find in the new season. Season 1 episode 3 Nap Spot is, and I cannot stress this enough, Inception. The whole episode, the whole thing, it's Inception.
Whoa. Whoa.
Muscle Man brags about a secret nap spot in the abandoned playground. Mordecai and Rigby find it, try it out, and immediately get trapped in a dream. Then they go deeper into another dream, then deeper again, until they reach what the episode literally calls the lowest dream level possible. Inception, Christopher Nolan's 2010 movie about nested dream levels where the deeper you go, the harder it is to wake up. This episode is a top to bottom parody. Even the wake up protocol Muscle Man uses to get them out, a chain of nonsensical actions that have to happen at exactly the right time, is a direct riff on Inception's kick mechanic, where a synchronized jolt is the only way to escape each dream layer. But that's just the spine of the episode. The references inside the dreams are where it gets fun. Before the nap, the park crew is hyping each other up from something called Denim Day, where the best dressed wins a bottomless bucket of wings at a restaurant called Wing Kingdom. Wing Kingdom is an obvious parody of Buffalo Wild Wings, but the joke goes deeper. Denim Day itself is a parody of those goofy themed office days companies invented in the 2010s to fake culture. Hawaiian Shirt Friday, Pajama Day, all of it. Even at school, you had, wear jeans for $2 day. Regular show is making fun of corporate fun as a concept. And then we get to one of the strangest references in the entire series. Deep in the daydream, Mordecai and Rigby meet 2 figures who tell them, quote, "For my 2 boys, you bring so much joy to this place."
For my 2 boys, you bring so much joy to this place. Here's to your great adventures.
This is a parody of how dreams in animation almost always handle childhood. Every show from The Simpsons to Adventure Time has had this exact scene. The dreamer meets idolized parent figures who say the one thing they always want to hear. Regular show is poking fun at that trope by making it weirdly sincere, weirdly comforting, and then immediately undercutting it with Rigby going, "Dude, this dream sucks." Season 1 episode 1 Fix That Tape opens with what might be the most relatable villain in the entire show. Pops' memory tape breaks, and within 30 seconds, a salesman named Jam PFT Brimpton from a company called Jam PFT Co. shows up at his door with a pitch.
Grimpton, just another man pushing full time.
His offer? Hand over your physical memory tape and Jam PFT will digitize it for you and stream all your memories directly to your TV. No more clunky plastic, just instant access. This is a near one-to-one parody of every streaming service and cloud storage company on the planet. The pitch? Give us your physical media, we'll give you convenience. That is the exact playbook from Netflix killing Blockbuster, Spotify killing CDs, and every cloud service that ever told you your hard drive was obsolete. And the writers aren't subtle about it. Jam literally tells Pops that there's no need for this cumbersome piece of plastic. That's not a joke about VHS tapes. That's a joke about you, the viewer, and the streaming service you're probably watching this episode on right now. But the references in this episode don't stop there. Later in the episode, Mordecai and Rigby are tasked with hauling park trash to the dump, but Benson tells them they can't use anything with wheels. So they flip through a snack box and find this.
Send in 600 pudding tops and get a free hovercraft. Plan for fun.
A hovercraft, dude! Air isn't wheels. It's the ultimate loophole. We get the hovercraft, cruise the trash to the dump, and boom!
This is a direct parody of those mail and cereal box promotions from the 80s and 90s. Send in proofs of purchase, get a free prize. And the punchline lands exactly the way those promotions always actually worked out. They send back plans for a hovercraft, not an actual hovercraft. False advertising disguised as fine up print. Every kid who ever mailed in 20 bottle caps with a free toy felt this one in their soul. And then it gets weirder. Once they build the hovercraft and start dumping trash, 2 government agents in a control room start tracking them on a radar. Crop circles, UFO sightings, aerial backup, it gets crazy. The entire B plot is a parody of the classic government conspiracy / X-Files style Cold War alien panic. Shadowy directors, aliens or not, tasting blood to confirm species. It's the same trope every 90s sci-fi thriller ran into the ground. And regular show is openly making fun of it. But the moment the agents confirm contact, they pull out the heaviest weapon in America's cultural arsenal.
Daryl Hall and John Oates.
Hall and Oates, the actual band, and it's not random. The agent literally calls them our country's greatest cultural achievement, then plays one of their songs as a peace offering to what he thinks are aliens. Hall and Oates were the biggest pop duo of the entire 1980s, and regular show has always had an obsession with the 80s. This is a love letter wrapped inside of a joke. That's 4 references, and we haven't even left episode 1. Let's check out episode 2. Season 1, episode 2, Blade Games, might be the most reference-dense episode in the entire series. The whole episode kicks off with the Mordecai and Rigby glued to the couch watching a show called Blade Games, hosted by 2 characters named Cal the Chopman Smith and Tank LaSlice.
I'm Cal the Chopman Smith. Today I use my 10-inch high carbon geofiber. Blade Games!
Blade Games is a direct parody of a competitive Blade-based reality TV. Think Forged in Fire on the History Channel, or think American Ninja Warrior. Think every weird late-night sports show on cable that takes one specific skill and turns it into an entire championship. The narrator even calls it America's 8th fastest growing sport, which is the exact tone every one of those shows uses to make themselves sound bigger than they actually are. But the bigger reference comes from how Benson tries to fix the situation. Pop lends Benson a stack of old VHS training tapes hosted by a woman named Joan Crandon, a series called Managing Motivation for Managers, Motivational Techniques. Each lesson covers a different management trick: positive reinforcement, mentorship, delegation, reverse psychology, gamification.
Hi, I'm Joan Crandon, and welcome to Managing Motivation for Managers, Motivational Techniques. I'm Joan Crandon. Our first lesson is on positive reinforcement.
Joan Crandon is a parody of corporate training videos from the 1980s. The hair, the outfit, the awkward stage scenes with employees named Barb and Bill. It's all pulled directly from those legendary VHS tapes that played in office break rooms for decades. Just to make the reference impossible to miss, the show names one of her other series. It's the 80s with Joan Crandon. The writers are openly telling you this is an 80s parody. But there's one line buried in the Joan Crandon tapes that hits completely different in 2026 than it would in 1985. During the positive reinforcement lesson, Joan is praising an employee named Barb for her work, and she delivers this line.
Look at that word count. A machine will never replace you. Great job.
A machine will never replace you. In the 1980s, that line is a generic motivational platitude. In 2026, with AI tools replacing copywriters, designers, customer service reps, and an entry-level office work across every industry, it lands like a punchline. The writers know exactly what they're doing. They picked an 80s training video setting specifically because that's the era when corporate America promised workers their jobs were safe forever. And then they had Joan Crandon say one line that aged the worst. It's the kind of joke you can only catch if you're paying attention, and it's one of the sharpest pieces of commentary in the entire new series. During the mentorship lesson, an employee admits he can't read a deal memo because, and I directly quote this, "The problem is I can't read." And then Joan asks another employee to teach him. This is a parody of those over-earnest corporate sensitivity training videos that handled real issues, like adult literacy with the emotional subtlety of a fire alarm. Anyone who's ever been forced to sit through HR training like I have at a job has seen this exact scene played out complete seriously. But here's where the episode goes from clever to genius. Benson uses the gamification technique. He fakes a Blade Games tournament at the park to trick Mordecai and Rigby into doing chores. And then the actual Blade Game pros, Cal and Tank, show up offended that he's using their brand name. This is gamification taken to its logical, terrifying conclusion. Gamification is a real corporate buzzword from the 2010s, turning work into a game to motivate employees. Tech companies have been doing it for over a decade, and Regular Show takes that concept, follows it to the real world endpoint, and shows what happens when you turn work into a competition. The actual professionals show up and destroy your entire fucking workplace. And the next one hides what might be the most niche reference in the entire series. Season 1 of episode 4, Coffee Shop Wars. A trendy pop-up called Hot Brown, run by a character named Valencia, sets up next door to Margaret and Eileen's coffee shop. Valencia's signature product, something called a dough dunk, a donut fused with coffee, and she claims she invented it on a show called Mill Central Station's Foodie Food Wars.
Free sample?
So good.
What is this?
It's a dough dunk, made using a patented technique of fusing food, which netted me first prize on Meal Central Station's Foodie Food Wars, by the way.
Two parodies stacked on top of each other. The dough dunk itself is a parody of the entire 2010s fusion food trend. Cronuts, ramen burgers, sushi burritos, all of it. And Foodie Food Wars is a direct parody of Food Network competition shows like Chopped and Cutthroat Kitchen, right down to the overdramatic name. But Valencia herself is the bigger reference. Her whole personality, the big cool boots, the I'll see you girls later on or not, the pretending to be friendly while undercutting the competition, is a parody of a very specific type of Gen Z food influencer. The kind that opens up a pop-up in your neighborhood, takes over Instagram for 3 weeks, and just disappears. Pop-up shop culture itself, the fact that Hot Brown sets up in a condemned building like 20 minutes ago and bribes the cops with free samples to skip the permit. That's a parody of how every trendy food pop-up actually operated in the late 2010s. Move fast, skip regulation, ride the trend until it dies. And her donuts itself is also a reference to a regular coffee donut that actually exists in real life. And then the episode gets biblical. Margaret and Eileen create the ultimate fusion log, a breakfast, lunch, and dinner all fused into one, and they get sucked into another dimension. There, they meet two of the opposing groups of food deities, the classic goddesses of breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and the fusion goddesses of brunch, dinner, and lupper.
Where are we?
Foolish mortals. We are the goddesses of breakfast, lunch,
And dinner.
We demand you cease blazing this gastronomic path.
What? The logs? No way. People are gonna love them.
This is a parody of Greek mythology, Norse mythology, and basically every fantasy movie that involves cosmic factions of gods arguing about the fate of mortals. Two warring pantheons, ancient laws, the chosen mortals having to make an impossible choice. It's Clash of the Titans with brunch food. 4 episodes, 15 references, and the final episode hides one I almost missed. Season 1, episode 5, Boba or Bo Bust. Mordecai and Rigby blow their entire Snack Shack budget on boba tea, and they have to sell it all by the end of the week or they're fired. The whole premise is a parody of the boba tea explosion of the late 2010s and early 2020s. Boba went from a niche Taiwanese drink to a global obsession in about 5 years, and at every snack bar, mall food court, and convenience store tried to cash in on it. Regular Show is making fun of trend chasing as a business strategy, but the bigger reference is what happens to Pops.
Bottoms up.
Boobicious. You feeling better, Pops?
Pops drinks his first boba, and the moment those pearls hit, something in him activates. He says he feels bobacious, and then he transforms into a smooth-talking alter ego who calls himself Boba Casanova.
Dude,
How'd you do that?
Easy, baby. By sipping on Boba.
What's Boba?
Head over to the snack shack to find out.
Yo, hook us up with 2 Bobas.
Boba Casanova is a parody of the 1970s soul and funk era, specifically the smooth-talking, jive-speaking persona archetype made famous by characters like Huggy Bear from Starksy and Hutch, Black Dynamite, and pretty much every blaxploitation film of that era. The cadence, the slang, that's the word from the bird, baby. It's all pulled from a very specific moment in pop culture. The fact that the pearls themselves are what triggered the transformation is the joke. Boba isn't just a drink, it's a personality. And the final reference comes out of absolutely nowhere. At the end of the episode, a bloodthirsty monster shows up at the park demanding Boba. He arrives ready to feed, and the only thing that stops him from eating Pops is Mordecai and Rigby sacrificing the last of the supply.
Check on this, you monster!
Delicious.
Boba, why balls in it?
This is a parody of classic B-movie monster horror, the bloodthirsty creature showing up out of nowhere, the heroes having to give up something precious to survive, the monster being defeated not by force, but by satisfaction. It's the exact structure of every cheesy creature feature from the 50s through the 80s. And the 2020s twist is what makes it land. The monster isn't just satisfied by blood or sacrifice or a magic weapon, he's satisfied by a trendy drink. It's the same gag What We Do in the Shadows runs constantly, ancient monsters being completely captured by modern trends. And also, the monster kind of looks like Godzilla. That's 18 references across 5 episodes. So what does it all mean? Regular show The Lost Tapes isn't just a comeback, it's a parody of an entire decade of pop culture that the original show just didn't get to cover. AI replacing workers, Boba, Inception, these are references the writers couldn't make in 2010 because most of these things didn't exist yet. So if you guys did enjoy the video and want part 2, be sure to like and subscribe, or the Boba monster will come get you.